Here we go, guys. The wait is finally over. We are finally getting a new chapter of One Punch Man. And although there's not a whole lot of action going on here, we do get some action from Saitama, and we get some insight as to how the world is reacting to the events of the Monster Association and how it's going to affect things going forward. So this is definitely an important chapter. But really quick before we get into that, if you guys enjoy One Punch Man, then you have found the perfect place, because I post One Punch Man content multiple times a week, from theory videos to general discussion videos to chapter reviews such as this, where, as you guys can see, I am putting out chapter reviews for One Punch Man out almost immediately after the chapter drops. So you definitely want to be subscribed with notifications on so you can be the very first person to know as soon as a new chapter releases. But alright, let's get into it. So as a quick refresher from where the last chapter left off, because I know it has been a while, we see Saitama digging through the rubble of the Monster Association battleground, digging through his old apartment, or what's left of his old apartment, and trying to find things to take back to his new place. Well, this is when he comes across Overgrown Rover, who he then decides that he wants to keep as a pet. And seeing this, Black S takes the opportunity to try to introduce himself to Saitama in hopes that he can take him in as well and keep him safe while he regains his cell stock. Well, this next chapter is picking up right after that, where we see Saitama walking home with all the stuff that he's collected, and Black S is still bugging him to let him stay with him. But of course, Saitama is completely against this because he's already taking one pet in, and he's kind of creeped out by Black S and does not want him living in his apartment. But of course, Black S is persistent here, and he says that he can literally live anywhere in his apartment. He can live in a corner, anywhere he can stay. He just needs a roof over his head. Well, it seems like Saitama's letting up a little bit, because he just lets him know that there is no way that he is staying in his room with him. And after saying this, he points out that he can see his apartment from here. And this is when we get a shot of the Hero Association way into the distance. So this is officially confirming that Saitama now lives in the housing quarters of the Hero Association. So what that implies, we're going to find out in a little bit. But we then see Black S get excited by this, saying that, you know, having such a big place, his mind could rest at ease because he won't be bothered there. But obviously he doesn't know that this is the Hero Association, literally the worst possible place that he could be staying. But before we can continue with them, we cut to inside of the Hero Association, where we see one of the executives or the members of the Hero Association giving a presentation to a group of wealthy people. And this whole presentation is basically him pitching these new apartment complexes that have opened up at the Hero Association, basically claiming that it is the safest possible place that they can be. And we also see the A-ranked heroes, Crescent, Eyebrow, and Green, are there as, you know, bodyguards or just kind of in attendance. So essentially what this meeting is about is getting as many wealthy individuals to move into these apartments to help fund the Hero Association and fill up all these empty rooms that they've had for so long. They're basically pitching them as high-end properties, because seeing as how everyone in society and in the whole world right now is really freaked out by the whole Monster Association situation that happened a few days back, people are on edge way more than ever before. Just to give you guys an example, there's a town a few miles away from where I live right now where all the police officers from, you know, the general area go to live. So a lot of people try to live in that area because, you know, they're surrounded by police officers, so they assume that, you know, this is probably one of the safer areas to live. Well, the same kind of goes for this whole situation that they're trying to push here. The Hero Association representative basically states that there is no other safer place that they can possibly be, because they're literally surrounded by heroes that can jump at a moment's notice to protect them if need be. Well, if this follows what happens in the webcomic, someone points out that although they might be surrounded by heroes, they're still humans, so their safety can't really be guaranteed. And Green and Crescent Eyebrow take offense to this, and Crescent Eyebrow even points out that they're basically treating them as bodyguards in their own living complex. And this is when Green brings up that this is probably why the rent was free for them. Well, the Hero Association representative assures them that although he does agree that they are only human and technically can't guarantee their safety because of that fact, he reassures them that there is another line of defense for the complex, because at the very front, they have this incredible multi-billion-dollar defense system that was designed by Metal Knight, and this is the thing that can really guarantee their safety because they are these high-tech fighting robots that can literally take care of demon-level threats on their own. Well, unfortunately for the representative, as he's kind of talking up these defense robots and this whole defense system that Metal Knight has set up, this is when Saitama approaches the front gate of the Hero Association. So when he tries to answer, one of these defense robots comes out, and I'm assuming that this defense robot identifies that Black S and Overgrown Rover are monsters, so his defense systems automatically turn on and he engages in, trying to attack them. Well, Saitama doesn't have any time for this because he just literally slaps him away with one hit, which then triggers the level 4 robots to come up. So these are an upgraded level of defense if the first wave fails, and they're like these octopus tentacle like robots, and they just start to rain down beams on Overgrown Rover and Black S. If it's anything like the webcomic, Saitama says something along the lines of the best thing to do when there's some faulty electronics is to give it a good smack, and this is when he totally wipes out the rest of the level 4 defense robots. Well, there's security guards that are supposed to be watching the front gate of the Monster Association, so they're taking a nap and they're woken up to this whole commotion and rush to the scene and realize that the entire defense system has been destroyed. So they start freaking out that their multi-billion-dollar defense system has been completely destroyed and ask Saitama if he saw what happened. And hearing multi-billion-dollar defense system, Saitama starts to kind of freak out and realizes that he might have to pay for this if they find out that he destroyed the defense system. So Saitama tries to claim that they were just malfunctioning and blew up on their own. And of course they're not really buying this, but the person to really nail this into them and make them believe it is King, who shows up as soon as Saitama says this and kind of confirms that he saw it too. He saw the robots also malfunctioning, and of course they're going to take his word for it right away. So as they walk away, Saitama hands this broken game over to King, which I'm assuming he dug up from the rubble of his apartment. But King says that it's alright. He actually wanted to stop by his apartment to see if he was down to play this new fighting game that came out, and of course Saitama is not down at all because he gets completely wrecked by King every time they play games together. So what's really interesting about the last panel of this chapter is that we get an image of just Saitama from his shoulders up, and it reveals his new rank. He's actually moved up to A class at the bottom, but still A class. He is A rank 39. And this is where the chapter ends. So again, not too much action happening here, but I am very happy that we at least got a new One Punch Man chapter here. We got some new developments about, the world around them after the major events of the Monster Association. And we get to find out that Saitama has a new apartment and is a rank 39. So things are looking up for our boy Saitama here, which is always nice to see. But what do you guys think of this chapter? Let me know in the comments if you've been liking this slow setup to the next arc that's coming up, or if you guys are completely bored of what's going on here and just want to see some more action. Let me know in the comments. I am very curious to think of what you guys think about, this new stage of One Punch Man. Well, that's it for this one today, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to like and subscribe. I'm still a pretty fresh channel, so any amount of support is very, very much appreciated. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.